Are you feeling essential? 9 times out of 10, you're not. Since most businesses have been closed by force of the government, you're not allowed to make any money. So most people who would be listening to this don't have a job. So that means that about everybody's at home. So what is the point of having an economy that nobody can work? And there was a question on Twitter, literally the other day, and the question was, what if forcefully making somebody work? If that's slavery, what is forcefully disallowing them to work? And I answered, it's still slavery. When you're not allowed to do whatever you want to do, you have no freedom of movement, and the control over your own body is controlled by some other entity, you are a slave. And right now in the United States, there are 320 million slaves. There are people either slaving in hospitals, working in a ridiculous amount of overtime, dealing with this virus situation, or there are 300 million people who are forcefully sitting on their ass, gaining weight, and probably still getting sick because they're not allowed to work. The people who are quote unquote non-essential. You know, and all of these quote unquote precautions, it's all for your own good, by the way. All of these things that they keep shutting down, they keep taking away, it's all for your own good. Now they've closed schools for the rest of the year. Nobody knows when this is ever going to end. It keeps another 2 weeks, another 30 days. It went from, oh, well, everything will be fine April the 15th. And then, oh, well, April 30th. Now, probably not even May. And in some places, it's June. This is never going to end. It's never going to end. Is never going to end. And now you've given the government the ability to dictate who can be open and who can't, but now what they can sell and what they cannot sell, even if the things are perfectly legal. Now you have places that can't sell towels. Walmart cannot sell you a towel in certain places. Why? How the fuck does the towels transport the virus? Explain that to me. Explain, or is it that somebody's going to get the virus by leaving the house to go buy towels? That's nonsense. That is absolute nonsense. And then you are a goddamn fool if you believe it. This is what I mean when I said in the previous video about you are a victim of the laws that you follow. Because if you have to use the towels in your house, and let's say you have the virus or you had it, and you might want to change out your towels, you can't even do that now. Can't even do that. You can't clean up behind people anymore. You can't plant seeds in a garden because now you can't buy seeds. They told you can leave to buy food. Now they're telling you that you can't buy other essential items, or you can't even dictate for yourself what's essential. The government's going to tell you what's essential. That is, if you don't understand what fascism is, fascism, as it was described by Benito Mussolini, is that everything within the state, nothing outside of the state. It is that simple. If the government can decide what is essential and what is not essential, and even if you want to be one of these people who say it's an emergency, okay, fine, it's an emergency. But is it really an emergency that to the point where I can't buy a fucking towel? That I can't buy a towel? That I can't buy seeds? I can't buy a coffee maker because Starbucks is closed. So if I wanted to make my own coffee in my own house, since I'm a prisoner in my own fucking house, I'm not even allowed to be comfortable in my own prison. I can't go out and buy anything. If I order something on Amazon, it will take forever if it actually gets delivered. So what is the benefit of all this stuff? Who is this stuff supposed to benefit? Or are we looking at an intentional cratering of the economy by dragging down Amazon, dragging down Walmart, killing small business, and now we're going to put everybody on the government teat and say, oh, we're going to bail everybody out $10 trillion in debt. And look, I'm not one for debt trolling. Okay, I think that some of the worst things libertarians can do is get involved with debt trolling. Constantly talking about the debt, fuck the debt, okay? But eventually, you can't just spend $10 trillion without causing massive inflation. So all of the only people who are allowed to make money are doctors, and the people who who don't need to leave the house to make money. So if you run a brokerage firm, or you're a professional stock trader, or if you're under the table as a barber or something like that. And there are people getting arrested for cutting hair and things like that too, by the way. So get prepared. There are people who are going stir crazy in their homes, especially these celebrities, looking and trying their best to get attention. And most people are just not interested. They want to leave the fucking house and they want to have their own money. But we're being told that we can't have it. So now you have people who've been in the house 2-3 weeks already are starting to crack up. Are you feeling safer yet? Do you feel safe from the virus yet? When the media is constantly telling you about all the people who've got it, all the people who died, that the curve is going up, it's not going down, the curve's not flattened yet. The curve's not flattened yet. It's not over yet. The nightmare continues. The nightmare goes on. And guess what? The government gives itself more power. They're still regulating things like abortion and guns. Yeah. They're still underneath. This is disaster socialism, 101. This came from the whole Naomi Klein concept of the shock doctrine, where you said when the shock doctrine is, something big happens, like Hurricane Katrina, which was her example. And then, during the chaos, the venture capitalists or whoever will come in and start buying up dirt cheap properties in order to own them in the wake of Hurricane Katrina. Well, there's also disaster socialism, where now that everyone's sitting in the house, not allowed to do anything, people are poor and broke and they're blaming somebody. They're just going to blame capitalism. They're blaming capitalism because the market crashed. So now we're going to have more spending, more government spending. We need more government to save everyone's life. That's disaster socialism. When you see that we're going to give $25 million to a museum because it's supposed to be about a pandemic relief fund, then hey, you got to feel safe. We got to feel so safe that there's going to be nothing but patronage going on. All of the favorite industries from Hollywood and airplanes and the airlines, all those guys are going to get a massive bailout. And you're going to get like $1,200. They're going to get trillions of dollars. You're going to get $1,200, which you could have made on your own. Instead, you're going to get bird fed $1,200. And then, then the government's going to dictate what you can spend it on, by the way, because you're not allowed to buy certain things. Do you feel safe yet?